back to the Black Sheep Podcast. We told you we were going to get more consistent. Here we go. Joined as always by Tyler. What's going on, man?
Living the dream, man. It's a good game last night.
Yeah, no joke, if you want to call it that. But so we got a quick turnaround from last episode to this episode. This one, we're going to talk about the Natty last night. We're recording it on Tuesday, the day after. It wasn't pretty, even though Tyler wants to sugarcoat it. We'll talk about
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I bet you did. We'll talk about the storylines from the first week of wildcard action in the NFL playoffs. We'll talk the divisional round to get our analysis of the games. And whatever happens at the end, you guys know what we do at the end of these episodes. Stuff just starts coming out. So let's house cleaning. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe. We have a Patreon. Go support us over there. You'll get an extra episode a week. You get a Discord. Get to talk to us, hang out with fans of the show, other sheep of the flock. And go leave a review on Apple. And also shout out Jim Bob's Grizzly Beard Care. Go check him out, jbgbc.com. Treat your beard right. So get right into it. I'll let you start off. Alabama, Ohio State, it was not that great of a game. It started off ugly. It finished ugly. What's up? What's your early thoughts?
It's what I expected. I mean, when you only play 6-7 games, then you play a week schedule with that, you ain't ready for the big boys in the tournament. So I just don't think they belong there. Nah, I'm just kidding. Ohio State definitely belonged in there. They definitely belong there. I just had to get back at the Ohio State fans around here and say Notre Dame didn't make it in there, but they belonged. They beat Clemson. It was just Bama's year. I don't think anybody was going to stop them, although I do think Clemson could have gave them a better game. But who knows? I think they would have blown out everybody, but that game last night got ugly quick.
Yeah, we talked about it on the last episode. I said Ohio State needed to play a nearly perfect game to be able to compete with them. And they were already missing 2 linemen, so that perfect game was out the window on the defensive line. And then Justin Fields was off early. He was missing throws. He was hitting against Clemson. And Trey Sermon going down was big. But, again, I'm with you. Bama was going to win that all the way. They were the best team in college football. It wasn't close. Devonta Smith was the best player in college football. You think you would cover a guy who just won the Heisman?
Yeah,
Instead, he goes off for 215 and 3 touchdowns in the first half. One of them being on Tough Borland, who is easily Ohio State's slowest linebacker. That's a little cover 3 action happened right there, and the slot receiver burned the linebacker, and it wasn't pretty. Mac Jones just picked him apart.
So what do you think about Fields? Was he hurt? Was he healthy?
Well, they came out before the game and said he was 95% healthy. So I don't want to hear the excuse of he was hurt. He might have been. I mean, that shot he took against Clemson was real, and it probably hurt. But I don't think you come out with that report and then act like, the pain held me back. Now, if they would have said like 80%, you could say that. But they said 95%. So
Pre-game, he was out there dancing, getting loose. He looked good. He looked ready.
he looked good early, too. And then he just started missing throws.
I don't know what the final numbers were. I don't think they were that great.
He was under 50%, and he was under 200 yards.
So is he still QB2?
Yeah. That Bama defense.
Mac is a solid first-rounder now, or still no?
I'm not high on Mac Jones. He's going to have to land in, like, the perfect system. Now, if he lands – we talked about Kyle Trask in New Orleans. Mac Jones is better than Kyle Trask. So if he gets in New Orleans, or even Mac Jones in San Francisco would be awesome, because I think Mac's better than Jimmy Garoppolo, if we're being honest. Jimmy's a better athlete, but I think Mac, just the way he reads the field and arm strength is pretty comparable, I think he'd be awesome with Kyle Shanahan. He's a solid first rounder, but he's where you draw the line.
I don't think he's ready, though.
He's going to need time, but San Fran or even New Orleans, he could sit a year. You still got Jameis in New Orleans. You got Beathard and Mullins in San Fran if they move on from Jimmy G.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see because I don't think anybody's really ready to start day one except for Lawrence. I don't know if Fields is ready for day one.
Fields should not start day one. Lawrence is the only one who I would say like week one, which is like this every year in the NFL draft. There's usually only one quarterback who you can say week one, go put this guy on the field. Last year it was Burrow. Herbert, nobody knew was going to be like that. 2 years ago, who was it? Like Baker was the only one who was ready. 2 years ago it was Kyler, and that was it. Daniel Jones and Dwayne Haskins have shown that they weren't ready. And then 3 years ago, you had Baker was probably the only one. Darnold maybe, but yeah, it's like that every year. I'm with you. Lawrence is the only one who should start week one, but
Yeah, we're trying to find something to talk
Fields.
about here in this game because this game wasn't really nothing much to talk about.
No,
But
I do have something to talk from this game though. How'd you feel about Jalen Waddle going out there and putting it all out there on that field?
you got to love
Does it
it.
make you look at him better or worse or nothing?
Better for sure. I definitely think you get a lot of credit for that. I don't know if it kind of looks bad on Alabama, but the way they were talking, he had full range of motion in the ankle, and they were making it sound like even if they waited even longer, he would still be a little hobbled, a little in pain, just getting used to the feel of the ankle. So I don't know. I'm not a doctor. It didn't look like he was 100%. Didn't look like he was even 80%. But if he wanted to go out there, he wanted to go out there. So you got to
He
love the
still looked
fight in the
pretty
kid.
good. There was
Yeah,
that drag route that Mac flipped to him, and he just outran the safety to the corner and got 15 yards. He looked
and
pretty
limped like
good.
crazy back to the sidelines.
Oh yeah, he was hurting after that, but he's excited. He knows that. I mean, come playoff time in the NFL, you know he's going to be out there if he can, just to offer
Right.
you some
Well,
another target.
speaking of injuries, what I was going to bring up is running backs. Running backs kind of had a different game. Najee Harris wasn't as dominant as usual, even though he did get in the end zone, 3 times. He was kind of struggling with the running game. From what I was watching, I kind of turned it off there in the second half. But and then you got Trey Sermon. So do you think Sermon comes back to Ohio State? That was a big topic.
No.
Yeah, I don't think
Uh,
so either.
so Sermon always had injury problems. That was his problem in Oklahoma too. But the run he just had, I mean, that was his potential. His stock's not going to be higher. He's a running back. He needs to get to the NFL as fast as possible and get that first check out the way. I don't think he's going to be a top tier back by any means. Early on, he's probably my running back 7, running back 8. I'll dig deeper into that here in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, he's not going to be a top tier guy. He's going to be a round 5 probably is where
That
I'd say.
331 looks good, or whatever he ran for against Northwestern. So I
Oh
don't think he
yeah,
can
and
really top
that's
that.
that's what you're hoping for. But again, those injury concerns as a running back, you always have to think about it. And this running back class is like Najee's at the top, and then Etienne's probably number 2, maybe number 3. Him and Michael Williams or Michael Carter from UNC are
And you got
pretty neck and
Chuba
neck.
Hubbard.
Nah,
Chuba Hubbard.
he's like she was only got one good year. It's
He's
really
got to be
weird.
top five.
Yeah,
Top
he's
five.
he's probably number 5 for me. So I
So
got
yeah, it's a loaded class this year. North
yeah. So
Carolina
there's
has
gonna be a
got
lot
2
of
good ones
guys.
coming out.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of guys in rounds 2 and 3 going in running backs. Like you said, you got Najee, Travis Etienne, both UNC running backs are probably 3 and 4, and then you got probably Chuba at 5. So Sermon's down there, but Najee, I mean, that dude is an animal. He's gonna be a first round running back.
Well,
me
Derrick
and you have
Henry.
this. Me and you have this argument all the time. I hate running backs in the first round.
Got to do
Absolutely,
it if you need it.
absolutely despise it. But Najee's gonna be one. I mean, he's big. His balance is amazing. His vision, it's there. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. Dude can do everything you want him to do. So
Yeah, I don't know. It
I
was it
hate
was
running
a
backs
it was
now.
a weird game to watch, for sure. I mean,
I turned it off at halftime.
I wanted Ohio State to get blown out, but I didn't think they would get blown out. I thought it would be 7, 10 point game. If it was going to be a 2 score game, I thought it was going to be 10. I did not see that coming at all.
Well, the way it started, it was back and forth. It was like Bama scored
Reminded
and
me of the Clemson game. I think it was
yeah,
14-14 after one, same as the Clemson game.
Ohio State matched them, and then in the second quarter they just blew up, and Devonta Smith decided nobody was going to guard him.
That was crazy. I wanted to see him play in the second half. I want to see if he could get to 300, but unfortunately, I don't know if he broke the finger, dislocated the finger. But
The slow mo looked like he broke it. It looked like that thing was bent to the side.
yeah, so he'll be ready to be the number one, number two receiver in a team here shortly.
That'll be a debate for another day. Him versus Jamar Chase. What we gonna do?
Yeah, we can get to the Super Wild Card Weekend results. We can just kind of get Bears Saints out of the way. That wasn't really any surprises.
Oh, did you watch the Nickelodeon feed though?
No, I didn't even watch the game. To be honest with you, I didn't even watch the game.
You missed it, man. That Nickelodeon feed was awesome, and it did what it was intended to do. My son asked me today if we could watch the football game with SpongeBob. So, I mean, what they're trying to do and bring it to the kids is pretty awesome, and the slime thing was pretty sweet. And Sean Payton actually got slimed after the game, so.
And the Concords, you can't ruin the Jays like that. That was just disrespectful. But yeah, I did see the slime cannons on Twitter. That was kind of cool, but yeah, that game had no interest. But
only issue is Trubisky won the Nickelodeon Valuable Player. Kind of trash.
That's a big deal. But speaking of that game, it ended with Jimmy Graham one-handed snag straight to the tunnel. And I was going to talk to you about Alex Smith and Ben and all these guys retiring. Do you think that's a sign that he's done? Caught that and headed to the locker room? You think Jimmy G hangs it up?
I think he's still playing. I think that was more of he knows the game's over. He knew it was a garbage touchdown. He was just ready to go home. That was an ugly game from the Bears.
Yeah, I think he's done.
How old is he now?
Let me see. I know he's up there. His production is the same.
At least 30. He is
34.
So he's done. He's done.
Yeah.
He only had 450 yards this year and 8 touchdowns. So he was productive.
Yeah, but that's not Jimmy G numbers. He don't want to just keep going out sad.
I don't know. Mercedes Lewis is still playing football.
He's a good blocker though, isn't he?
Oh, he's an excellent blocker.
Yeah, he still carries value that way. But that leads us to the Steelers and the Browns. How shocked are you about that outcome?
I think me and you both picked the Steelers. We looked at that Week 17 game and thought that the Steelers would be able to handle
the Browns
business.
Is the Browns, man. I thought the Browns is the Browns. That's what I thought.
Yeah, so what we didn't know is that the Steelers' backups are actually better than their starters. Big Ben looks absolutely washed. That sucks to say because he's going to be a Hall of Famer, and that game is not one you want to think he goes out on, but he needs to go out on that game. Call it quits, hang it up, whatever you want to call it. Big Ben. Me and him both Red Hawk alums. Please ride off into the sunset. I don't want to see that struggle anymore. Unfortunately, they don't have a good
41.5 on the table though.
Yeah, I think so. What I think is going to happen is him and Pittsburgh are going to restructure that. He's going to get a nice fat signing bonus, and he's going to ride off into the sunset. He's going to call that a day, and they're going to – because I think he has respect for the organization, and the Rooneys have respect for him. So I would assume that both want to do what's best for each other. Who knows? Ben might be selfish.
You got $41.5 million. I mean, you got to play.
Yeah.
You have to. I don't care how bad you are. That's $41.5 million.
That's why I think it's going to be mutual. Hey, here's a $20 million signing bonus. Go away.
Yeah, we'll see. But that game, I was very surprised. I mean, when it started, I was like, "Oh, that's huge for the Browns." I mean, you start with a touchdown that Ben looked like he had no interest in jumping on the ball, and then I think Connor whiffed on it, and then it ended up being a touchdown, first play of the game. So and then you come out and throw a pick. So I was like, is this going to get ugly? And it did. 28
28
nothing.
nothing.
And then all of a sudden, I turned the game off, about to go to sleep, turn the game back on, and it's like they were down like 11, I think. And I was like, oh, maybe this is a game. And then he throws another pick to a D lineman, I think. So I was like, okay, well, this game's over. I was definitely surprised by that outcome.
Yeah, good for Cleveland. As a Jags fan, I know what it is to suffer for a long time and get that playoff win that nobody expects you to get. So, unfortunately, they have a tough one this weekend, and we'll talk about that later. But, yeah, Baker may have earned himself some money. So, we'll see if he keeps it up. And Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt got to keep doing what they're doing if they want to keep this playoff thing going. But, yeah, good for the Browns. And they did without their coach, which was impressive. So
yeah, Alex Van Pelt might get some job offers after that one.
yeah, no joke.
But yeah, it's impressive and good for Cleveland. I've been there as a Chiefs fan. We've had long playoff droughts, long one and done streaks. Not really droughts, but just getting there and not doing anything with it. So it feels good to break through. Then we can.
What game we got next?
We can go with the Washington football team and the Tampa Bay Bucks. I thought it was going to be a blowout, so I was surprised.
I mean, it's still a blowout.
Yeah, but I was heartbroken. Heineke didn't get to play, or Alex Smith didn't get to play, and Heineke got to start. I wanted to see Alex Smith get out there. Honestly, Heineke played better than Alex Smith probably would have, but Alex Smith off that comeback player of the year. I wanted to see him get out there and get his last chance in the playoffs because he's another guy I think is going to hang it up.
Yeah, Heineke, speaking of guys who earn some money, that dude's going to be in the NFL a long time now. He's gonna be a backup somewhere.
A backup at least, yeah.
Yeah, he's not a starter. I'm not saying that.
They were trying to hype him up on the broadcast, saying somebody's going to give this guy a shot next year, and I'm like,
no, he's going to be on a roster and he's going to be a backup. But I mean, that's the best job in all of sports. So
it's crazy though. You come in and play like that against what they lose by 8, I think.
I think it was 11. It was like 31-20.
Well, you lose by whatever to the Bucks, and
That's a pretty good defense too.
Yeah, your first playoff start. And
31-23, 8 points.
He was a backup in the XFL to Jordan Ta'amu. I didn't even know that, but you come from a backup in the XFL, come and start a playoff game. It's pretty surreal. And that play he made, that run he made, was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
But, yeah, good for him. Sorry, football team. Maybe next year you'll be back with a name this time. So it's not all bad for you guys.
Well, word on the street is they're going to keep it. They're thinking about keeping the Washington football team as their name.
You can't keep that.
What they need is a better logo.
Every time I see WFT, I just think of what the fuck. So it's like very confusing.
I'm the same way. I see it WTF.
So yeah, they need a name. Just find something. I'm sure you can. The Washington Capitals.
It's already stolen from their own city.
Keep it ready. But we can talk about. Now I want to save that one for last. We can talk about the Bills and the Colts. Were you surprised it was that close?
No, the Colts were on fire. Their defense was good. Josh Allen was just better. He made the throws he needed to make, and he didn't make the mistakes he made like last year. Last year against the Texans, he took that bad sack late in the game.
He took another one. Bad fumble.
But he made up for it.
His defense made up for it. That would have been – if I'm telling you, if they didn't get that stop and the Colts tied that game, went to overtime and won or whatever it was, and he had that 23-yard loss, fumble, sack, right when they were rolling, getting into field goal range to go up, I think, 11, he would have got – or no, it would be go up 6. Or were they down 3? Yeah, they would have at least been up 6. So, yeah, he would have got absolutely slandered for that.
Yeah, but he didn't.
He got lucky. He got lucky this round.
Yeah, so I mean it's only his second ever game. He's getting there. But yeah, he played good. Phillip Rivers played really good. He was the reason they were even in this game. Jonathan Taylor got shut down for the most part. and that's who they usually run their offense through. But it's I think Rivers is another one. It's about time for him to hang it up. He was super emotional after the game.
There might be a lot of people retiring, a lot of big names retiring this year.
Dude, his arm, he just doesn't got it. He throws with such anticipation now because his arm strength just isn't there. You could see on the Hail Mary, he barely got it there.
Yeah. But he said he came out and said that if he's not wearing a Colts uniform next year, he'll have a ball cap on the sidelines coaching somewhere.
Yeah, and that perfectly fine. There's gonna be a lot of people signing up for that. Philip Rivers is awesome. I don't think he's gonna be a Hall of Famer. Yeah, he's gonna be funny though.
He might be.
He's one of those fringe players because he doesn't have like the ring to put him over the top, and he had some good teams.
And he'll probably be in that class with a lot of good quarterbacks as well.
And then, yeah, but I mean, luckily, hopefully he leaves. And the Colts take a step back. So the AFC South can be.
They got Brissett.
No, I'm not worried about Brissett. I've seen him for 3 years. Jags are 3-1 against Brissett. I could care less about that.
I feel like I'm missing a game. I know I got the Ravens.
You are. You got the Rams and the Seahawks.
Yeah, the Rams. How could I forget about the best defense in the league?
John Wolford and a broken Jared Goff versus Russell Wilson. And
man, what has happened to poor Russell Wilson?
Yeah, there's this whole idea out there that he's scared to throw against too high. And, I mean, Ramsey absolutely shut down DK for the most part. I hate to say it, but Ramsey's obviously a top corner in the NFL. And then, yeah, the Rams just handle business. Aaron Donald's a man amongst boys out there. He's the best defensive player in the NFL, and I don't think it's really close.
It was a bad look for DK, man. Going on the sidelines, throwing a temper tantrum, and then they try to force you a screen pass and it's a pick six. It just was not a good look for him. But I'm interested in the Rams because they're going up against the Packers, and we'll talk about that later. But that defense looked really good. So
that's a real deal.
Regardless of who they got behind center, I think they stand a good shot.
Well, we'll talk about it later. Who they should start under center.
And then we can get into the your favorite team, Ravens, and the Titans. Were you impressed by Lamar?
No.
Oh, come on.
Just to put it bluntly, I mean, he did what he had to do, but the same problems Lamar has are still popping up. The Titans just, I mean, I've heard somebody else say it, and it's kind of like turning my mind to it. Like, we're just going to have to accept Lamar for who he is. He's not your typical quarterback. He's not going to beat you with his arm. But what he does bring is that elite athleticism that not a lot of teams can compete with. And that's how he beat that's how he beat the Titans. He broke the game wide open with that long touchdown run on 3rd and long. He stepped up in the pocket and just nobody could catch him. So,
I think we accept it. I think most fans accept it, that he is what he is. He's a dual threat. It's just people try to force him into he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, which, I mean, he can be when he's on top of his game, but people always wonder why does he get slander, why does he get hate, why does he get people saying he's not good, and I just think
he's one lower body injury away from being terrible.
Yeah, and I mean, when it comes down to it, you're gonna have to make a big throw, and I just don't trust Lamar in a 2-minute situation with no timeouts. You can't run the ball. You're gonna have to throw it down the field. You're gonna have to get chunk plays, and they're gonna force you outside the numbers. And I know that they were saying he's did great throwing outside the numbers this game, but every throw outside the numbers, he had one good pass deep. Well, it was kind of deep to Hollywood, but all the other passes were just flats outside the numbers. They were abusing the flats with the fullbacks and the tight ends. So, I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if that's your game plan and that's how you're going to win and run the ball and do what you got to do, he got his win, so you got to respect it. But at the end of the day, I'm not putting him with the top 5 quarterbacks.
Yeah, we got to see how that, see if that eases his anxiety going forward, is now that playoff monkey's off your back. Go out to Buffalo, see what you can do. But yeah, I'm with you. I said it earlier. He's one sprained ankle, knee sprain away from being a terrible quarterback because I can't trust him to sit in that pocket and shred you with his arm.
And
His
it's like
biggest, yeah,
when they get in the playoffs, it's like why force him dropping back?
yeah,
You play how you do all season. That's what they did. They started down 10-0 because they came out there trying to throw the ball, hand off, and then try to throw the ball deep, and that's just not what he does. And in the second half, they got back to their game plan, rollouts, short passes, him running the ball. That's what you have to do. You don't have to make him a passer. Just play your game, and it worked out for him. The defense showed up and showed out and stomped on the logo.
yeah. Let him grow as a passer and use his biggest asset while he has it, because he's hard to stop.
Yeah, get him a payday. I mean, you have to pay him now. He showed he can win in the playoffs. Whether he goes above and wins, we don't know, but you got to pay that guy 35 million probably.
I'm holding off on that personally.
You have to. I mean,
I'm
he's going to
I'm
want it.
going all 5 years.
Nah, he's going to get that payday probably this offseason.
He's got an MVP too, so from his perspective, I mean, he's got a case. If he wants that deal, he's gonna get it. Which I mean, I guess he should. He lost 6 games this year, and that's more than he's lost in the last 3 years. So
I think they were 11-5. So
oh yeah, they were 11-5. So he's lost 8 games, 8 regular season games in his entire career in 3 years. No matter how you slice it, that's still pretty impressive. So MVP, yeah, he's gonna get paid. Unfortunately,
no
it's
doubt
gonna
about
be
it.
$40 million. They need to get him another weapon. He needs a big body receiver,
But will
and
it
then you
matter?
can. What do you mean?
Will it matter if he gets a big time receiver? I mean,
I don't know. He just needs like a big body. So like an Anquan Bolden. He has
Miles Boykin.
nobody. No, come on.
Come on, man. Golden
He
Domer.
needs
He's got what he
no.
needs.
He does not. I'm quick to. I just called him terrible. I'm quick to slander Lamar, but this dude.
So you want a Des Bryant in his prime?
Yeah, give him somebody who can go get it outside of Mark Andrews across the middle, because Marquise Brown ain't gonna do it. He weighs less than my daughter. I'm just kidding. That was too far. But still, like, yeah, give him that. Give him a nice little outlet over the middle that's not as tight end, who can go get those tough catches, and then that's a fair eval.
They'll probably stock up on 2 more tight ends and go back to the heavy 3 tight end sets.
Yeah, I could totally see that too. Get another running back. They're getting that triple option game going.
Yeah. But that'll lead us to this weekend's games. I think first is the Rams and Packers. And everybody thinks this is going to be a blowout.
Yeah, Green Bay is favored by 6.5.
So I don't think, I mean, when you look at that Rams defense, did the Rams and Packers play this year? I'm not sure.
I don't believe so, but let's see. Let me pull that up real fast. They did not.
Yeah, so what I'd compare the Rams to, somebody the Bucks have seen already, and that's Tampa Bay. They got the similar defense, except I would say the Rams' defense is a little better.
I would go with the Colts.
The Colts,
just because they got that interior pressure from DeForest Buckner, like they're gonna get from Aaron Donald.
They don't have the corners though.
No,
So
that's true.
You don't have anybody to lock up. I think if Jalen Ramsey shadows Devontae Adams, this game could get interesting. They'd have to have somebody for Tunyon across the middle. But it'll be interesting to see how this game plays out because, like I said, when I talk to people, they think Packers win big, and I just don't see it. I don't care who starts under center. I don't care if it's Goff or whoever else on next train. So I just don't. I think Goff gives them the best chance to win just because he's been there. If his thumb is good enough to throw the ball 40 yards. So I would start Goff in this game if I'm the Rams and let your defense eat, run off those play actions, reverses, try to get something going. you're going to need probably 27 to win. So hold them to 20, 24, and get yourself a dub. But I'm going to go with the Packers winning this game.
So the Rams have a guy on their roster who has been there before, who was carried by a defense before, and knows how to win these tight games. I'm just saying, they got the GOAT, the one and only Blake Bortles. They need to start him and only him. Let Goff heal because they're going to need him in the NFC title game. I got the Rams winning this one. Aaron Donald's a man on the mission. David Bakhtiari's out, so their left tackle is going to be new.
He just played in the playoffs last week.
Packers didn't play last week. They got the 1 seed.
I know, but they got Jared Valdir. He just played for the Colts.
Yeah, and he's not David Bakhtiari.
That's
so, yeah, I think it doesn't matter who's out at tackle because Aaron Donald's just going to destroy Aaron Rodgers up the middle. He's on a tear right now. And Jalen Ramsey, I fully expect him to shadow Devontae Adams all day. So
you got the 1 seed losing?
Yeah, I do. I got Rams by 3. And that's just not with Blake Bortles starting. I would love to see Blake Bortles start, but it's going to be Jared Goff. He still looked like his thumb was clearly hurt last week. He could barely grip the ball. You didn't see Sean McVay give him a ton of deep throws. There was a lot of quick hitters. So I expect that again. But the Packers' run defense isn't the greatest either. So Cam Akers might be able to eat.
That's interesting. I would say Packers in a close game. Like I said, I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I just don't see the Rams having enough to.
I'm putting a lot of weight on Jalen Ramsey. I think he's just going to dominate, and then Aaron's going to have to find somebody else to go to. So, like, Tanyan might get open a couple times. I don't know.
They're killing Jalen Ramsey on Twitter, though. They're saying he's the Derrick Henry this week.
Yeah, they're crazy.
The guy that everybody talks about, that's going to be the big X factor in the game, and he just doesn't show up.
I've never seen a game where Jalen Ramsey didn't show up, and I've watched him for 4 years.
We'll see.
Jalen Ramsey not showing up is a 60-yard bomb to Tyreek and nothing else after that.
We'll have to see. I'm not going on that limb that the Packers are going to lose just yet. I don't think they're as good of a team as everybody thinks they are, but
they're not making it out of the NFC.
Yeah, but that's tough. You might get some heat for that one. The group chat's gonna be blowing up.
At J Collier BSP, follow me on Twitter.
That'll take us to the nightcap. We got the
Ravens.
Elite quarterback Lamar Jackson, fresh off a playoff win, coming to visit the Bills. Who do you got in that one?
It's Buffalo. It's gonna be close. Right now the line is 2, and that sounds about right. Buffalo by 2. It's gonna be a tight game. Both teams are gonna, I think, lean on the run. It's supposed to be pretty snowy, so we'll see that. Josh Allen's a tank, though. That dude took on Darius Leonard head up, and I thought most quarterbacks are dumb for that, but Josh Allen just did it and popped right back up. And Stephon Diggs. I mean, Marlon Humphrey's good. Marcus Peters is all right, but Peters is going to get eaten up by Diggs every time he lines up with him. And who are they going to get to cover Cole Beasley in the slot?
Jimmy Smith.
Yeah, but Cole Beasley is one of the best slot receivers in the NFL. So it'll be a good matchup. I'm not going to say it's not. Like I said, it's going to be a close game, but I just think Josh Allen's better than Lamar, and that'll be the difference. He'll make a throw that Lamar won't. But I still see Lamar's going to have 120 rushing yards, 180 passing yards. It just won't be enough.
You ain't going to believe this coming from my mouth, but I got the Ravens in this one. I'm the biggest Ravens doubter in the world probably, but I get a lot of heat for it. A lot of people say I hate Lamar, blah, 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 blah. But Lamar comes out in this game. They stick with the run game. They stick with the short passes. They control the clock. They do just enough. They win, it's going to be ugly, I think. I think it's 23-20 type game. 23-21.
What was their earlier matchup? They played this year.
I think they played last year, and I think the Ravens won by 3. So I
Let me
think it
see.
could be something similar to that.
Oh
I
yeah, it was
just
definitely last year.
the only reason I say that is because just the Bills' run defense worries me. They did do good against the Colts, but Lamar and J.K. and that's a different animal. And the way the Ravens' defense looked last week, it was scary. So I think Marlon follows Diggs, and I think Peters. Well, they usually don't do that. They usually keep
No, they
Peters on that
typically keep
side.
them on each other side.
But in my opinion, you cannot keep Peters on Diggs. I know you had their big pick last week, but Diggs is going to double move him and beat him deep at least twice.
Well,
So
that pick last week was a little suspect too.
yeah, it was a tip ball. You're allowed to throw the receiver down. So, but yeah, I don't know. I just have a feeling the Ravens win this one. I mean, you got Justin Tucker. I'm counting on him to hit the game winner. They're going to be down like
Nope,
21-20.
he's not untouchable anymore. He missed one last week.
I know, but he's going to come up clutch this week, and they're going to get the dub. I just see it.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Ravens won. I just think it's going to come down to one play between these quarterbacks, and I trust Josh Allen to make that play more than Lamar. But
Can you imagine how toxic Twitter is going to be, and ESPN and all that if the Ravens beat the Bills?
it'd be Ravens or Super Bowl champs.
Absolutely.
They're going to be too hot to stop.
That Lamar train's going to be going, baby. $50 million a year. Give him the keys.
Give him the keys.
But
That would be crazy.
That takes us to the Sunday game, the Chiefs against the Browns. I'll let you start with this one.
The Browns, good for them last week. You beat a good tough Pittsburgh Steelers team. But I just don't see it. Dan Orlovsky broke it down perfectly. He said in order for the Browns to win, they're going to need 3 7+ minute drives, and it has to end in a touchdown. So they're going to have to control the ball, and they're going to have to score touchdowns because field goals won't do it. Pat Mahomes can score in 30 seconds if he wants to. I mean, what was it against the Raiders? 1 minute left, and he wasn't sweating. It was just like, all right, let's go get it. So the Browns have the personnel to do it. They got a good line. Their line's one of the best in the NFL. 2 great running backs. Jarvis Landry is one of the best route runners, possession receivers in the NFL. Great chain mover. Baker's doing Baker things. He's doing good. So they have it, but I think it's still going to be Chiefs by 10. That offense is too explosive. Browns defense isn't trustworthy. They had 5 turnovers last week and still a single-digit game or closer. I don't know the exact score, but still. So it'll be a good matchup. It'll be fun, but I think KC's going to have their way. They just got too many weapons, and the Browns have a bad defense.
Yeah, I'm going to take a different angle on this. I'm not going to come on here and predict any Chiefs games this postseason. You can call it soft, but yeah, I'm not going to jinx us. So I won't call the score, who wins. I will say the keys to the game will be the Browns running the rock, having success with it. I know a lot of people think the Chiefs' defense isn't that good, but if you tell them you're going to run the ball down their throat, that's usually they take a lot of pride in stopping it. They did against Baltimore. They did against Tennessee last year in the playoffs. So I think the Browns have to get a lead early. That's the biggest key for the Browns, get a lead early, get up 2 scores, get up a score at least, keep the pressure on them, keep being able to run the rock. You cannot get down 14. It takes you out of your game plan completely. You have to get a hot start in the first. And if the Chiefs are anything like last year in the playoffs, they might not get off to the best start. They like to go down early last year. So you could jump on them early, hopefully cruise to the finish line, hold them off. But for the Chiefs to win, got to stop the run. It's that simple. Have to stop the run, Jarvis Landry. Keep Snead on Landry and stop the run, and you should be golden. Patrick Mahomes be Patrick Mahomes. I don't see anybody from Cleveland stopping Kelsey. I don't see Tyreek being stopped, even if Denzel Ward's back. And if Tyreek gets stopped, I mean, you got playoff Sammy. Sammy's huge for us in the playoffs, but that's all I'll say. I ain't gonna predict this one.
Well, I think running the rock's definitely the answer because in the two Raiders games, I mean, the only two games where it looked like the Chiefs were going to lose, it was pound it with Josh Jacobs and hit those explosive plays. And I think that's what you have to do is those knockout plays. You had Darren Waller shot plays from Derek Carr and then Henry Ruggs. They kept going to that. And so that's what the Browns are going to have to do. They live off play action, pound it with Chubb, pound it with Kareem Hunt, and take those shots. You got to do it fast and you got to do it hard with this Chiefs defense because you're right. They're underrated. They will punch you in the mouth. So they got athletes, Frank Clark, Chris Jones, two top-tier defensive linemen. They're going to be in Baker's face. So they're going to need to get those explosive plays out there.
It'll definitely be interesting to see. But, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to say too much on here. Cleveland, if you lose to the Chiefs, hell of a run. You'll be back. But
we talked about the hype train before. Now imagine if Lamar and Baker won on the same weekend.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. I don't want to think that's going to happen, but you never know. Any given Sunday.
Definitely, they have a chance. They got the formula. They just got to execute it.
Everybody's got the formula. Everybody's got the blueprint.
Yeah, it sounds good on paper.
But that takes us to the History Channel game. Got Tom Brady, Drew Brees, the third edition.
Yeah, it's not going to go.
I don't know, man. I think the Bucs win this one.
Yeah, I'm with you. The Saints absolutely killed the Bucs twice. Like they weren't close at all. But Drew Brees' arm it's tough. He's got to get that ball up there. He has no velocity.
I don't want to pick on him every week and call him the Noodle Boy, but he's definitely some top ramen out there.
Oh my goodness! And then AB for the Bucs. Antonio Brown's turning it on. He's looking like Antonio Brown of old. He's not getting the yards obviously because they got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, but he's finding space. He's getting open. Tom Brady's getting a rhythm with him.
Stealing touchdowns if he has to.
Yeah,
I don't know. I see the Bucs winning. Man, this game's so tough because the Saints defense is legit. So they could slow them down and Kamara could go off and Breeze could find Michael Thomas on some slants and they could win this game by 20. And I would be like, wouldn't be surprised. But I also just see the Bucs winning this one by at least a touchdown.
Oh, it's playoff Fournette now too. Don't forget about him.
Yeah, he's ready.
That dude has vision like a grandma in the regular season. You turn on the postseason, he's a running back again.
He's ready. That's why you take running backs in the first round.
I never. He's awful. But yeah, I think Tom Brady. I mean, I know you don't like him, but he's looking pretty good right now. Arms looking loose.
Do we really want to see Brady versus the Rams again in the playoffs? That was a sleeper. That was a real snooze fest.
Yeah, I want to see that again. That'd be awesome. Brady's not throwing to Julian Edelman in Tampa. He's throwing to three good receivers.
Yeah, but we'll see.
Scotty Miller.
I think Brady Rodgers would be interesting.
So do you think either one of these guys, if they lose, they hang it up? You think this is the last game of one of their careers?
Breeze is done regardless. Whether he loses this week, next week, Super Bowl, wins the Super Bowl, whatever, he's out. He's done. Going to the booth.
Yeah, he's got a deal lined up with NBC.
Yeah, this is definitely his last year, no matter
what
happens.
Hopefully he leaves.
Yeah, it's hard to watch. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, and then, Brady. I think if it's close and Brady goes out respectable, I think he might hint at it. But I think if it's another 38-10, I don't think Brady's going out like that.
I think Brady's going to try to play till he's 45. He said he wanted to do it, so I think he will.
I think he can, but I don't want him to be like Breeze. Dude, it's so fun watching Brady.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Yes, it
You
is.
almost tricked me into saying, yeah, it is, but I'm not doing it.
You got to acknowledge the greatness.
You don't
Oh,
have to.
man. You don't want to anymore because you have your own go.
Yeah,
Us, us
that
on
can
the
be true.
outside, still looking for a franchise quarterback, can admire Brady.
That's straight competition right there.
Yeah, no joke. But so that's all the games. What do you think's gonna be the best game this weekend?
Probably Bills, Ravens.
I'm going Browns Chiefs.
What?
Dude, I want some chaos. I'm talking like a 52-45 like slugfest.
That's not gonna happen. Sorry.
Nah, probably not. It'll probably be like 17-7 or something. It'd be something really unexpected.
I think the best game will either be Bills, Ravens, or Saints Bucks.
So Saints Bucks makes me really wish that they were allowed to have fans at the Superdome. Could you imagine the Superdome rocking Sunday night playoff game, Brady and Breeze?
Can
It'd
you
be
imagine
such a
Buffalo
Buffalo would be
Saturday night?
insane, dude. The city would be on fire with tables.
I'm glad you brought up fans because I wanted to talk about this, and now that we're at the end of the episode, I feel like now's a good time. I saw a tweet, and it kind of made sense to me. It said, I think not having full stadiums in college and not having the band and the normal rituals of colleges has kind of exposed that it's a average product on the field. How do you feel about that? Because
Uh,
when you got the, I kind of say I hate it. At first, I said I hate it because you got Alabama running out first rounders left and right. But then
yeah,
when I start thinking about it, I'm thinking like the smaller schools, the who comes out to enter Sandman, Virginia Tech. I mean that atmosphere when they get going, they get the entrance, it's hype, the stands are rocking, and then you watch Virginia Tech football and it's just not good. So I think the atmosphere, the traditions, all that does kind of hide the ugly. Even Michigan, you got the big house. I just think it might make sense.
yeah. To an extent, I wouldn't call the product ugly, but I mean, college football is based on like the atmosphere of college football. I mean, they're the only sport with 100,000 plus fans. NFL doesn't do that. So, and this is every game. College towns are a whole different feel on game day compared to normal. And the players, the way they interact with the crowd and the cheerleaders and the band, it's a lot of it is pageantry, as they say. And so, yeah, I mean, I agree. College football is all about that tradition, all about the showmanship. Obviously, you like seeing Bama run out 30 first rounders on their offense and defense. But yeah, Enter the Sandman's a perfect example. Virginia Tech's a lot different once you got that bounce going.
Yeah, but like I said, when I saw the tweet, I was like, this is dumb. You know, it's a good product. They're putting out, that's how you find talent, blah, blah, blah. But then I'm like, NBA without fans, still good. Some people might think it's not, but you're getting good basketball. And then you think NFL without fans. It's not the same, but you're not watching the game like, oh man, we need some fans in here. We need, you know what I mean? When you're watching
Yeah, but
football, you're enjoying the football. But when I'm watching college, that's not, because every year there's 4 to 6 powerhouse teams that are fun to watch. And then when you look at the teams in the 20s, 25s, it's just like you need this atmosphere to make this more exciting.
even when you look at college broadcasts, they pay into the crowd more often than the NFL games or the pro sports because the emotion in the college games is a lot different. You'll see fans go crazy at college games. You see the raw emotion under a big loss. If the Chiefs lose to the Redskins, you're not seeing a Chiefs fan crying on the wall. But if Michigan loses to Ohio State, I mean, you got people crying, makeups all over the place, flags are getting it's so the emotion is there in the crowd at a college game versus the NFL as well. So I think the crowd's more important.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of I can see where he is coming from when he said that. when at first I couldn't at all.
Yeah, it's there's merit there. I hope we get fans back next year though.
Yeah, that'd be nice, but I don't see it happening, man.
Well, we're still
I
a
mean,
year away.
definitely next year by NFL playoffs, I think it's full capacity.
It'll be before that.
I don't know, man. September ain't that far away.
The Rona is, well, this time last year it just started. We didn't think we'd been locked down that long.
Yeah, so you never know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if something happens crazy, you got the Boog boys going crazy trying to start a civil war, but we'll leave that off the pod.
You getting the vaccine or what?
I don't know, man. So for those who don't know, I'm a coach for a high school wrestling team. So technically working for a school, I get the vaccine offered like first. And I just got word today on if I want to do it or not. That's something to think about. I think everybody's going to have to, if we're being honest.
Well, yeah,
Some
I don't
people
see
are
it
getting
coming to that. I don't see it coming to that, but I don't know.
do. Yeah, they're giving out vaccine cards for a reason. When have you ever walked and got a flu shot and they hand you a card and say keep it in your wallet?
Well, I think they're gonna make it. I think they're gonna make it for travel, but we ain't gotta go down this wormhole. I just want to put you on the spot there. I don't want to go too deep into this. We'll have to bring Jake on for this.
Oh, jeez.
That'd be the most toxic podcast episode of the year.
Yeah, we'd have to watch what's in its background. Yeah, we'd have to move that to a separate channel.
Had to start a whole new one. Black Sheep Conspiracies.
Oh, I love it. We did have to rebrand. So
yeah,
we do need to get Jake on though, get his crazy Bengals takes. He's back on the Joe Burrow train.
It's crazy every take. What do you mean Bengals take? It's everything.
Bengals got an O-line coach the other day.
Oh, best in the league.
TL's going crazy, man.
Best in the league. Nah, but for real, soon after the season, we need to have like a top five. Talk about the top 5 teams in the draft. How you would fix them in free agency type thing. Play GM. We can bring him on for that.
I can dig it. And then we need to get more guests on here. Hopefully they're all listening still. We want to start bringing more people on. Hit us up.
If you want to come on here, let me know.
You know where the DMs are. Slide in them poppies.
There you go. We're coming out on Wednesday. We're going to come out again on next Wednesday. Consistency is key in 2021. That's all I got to say. Thank you guys for listening this long if you're here. And hope you're having a good new year. Thanks for the love.
Subscribe, like, review. Peace.